is another edition of Editorials, a broadcast from Canada. My name is Sandra Asante, and I gladly welcome you to it. Today we'll be talking about two fusing into one. We'll be looking at UN regaining access to Tigray camps, hosting Eritrea, as well as Amnesty Ethiopia using rape as a strategy in Tigray war. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back after the break and we'll talk about these issues. You are welcome back from the break. Thank you so much for staying with me. We'll start off with UN regaining access into Tigray camps. So the UN Refugee Agency says it has regained access to two camps in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region hosting Eritrean refugees. It said aid had now reached Mai-Ani and Adi Harush camps hosting about 23,000 refugees, but warned that conditions in the camp were still dire. The UNHCR noted that it only had limited access to the two camps due to the fluid security situations. It said health care was unavailable and clean drinking water was also running out. It is now calling for help to safely transfer the refugees to new facilities in the Alemwat near Dabat town, about 135 kilometers, that is 83 miles away. The UN agency also expressed concerns over fresh displacement from fighting in Amhara and Afar regions, with an estimated 170,000 people internally displaced. It is also observed that more refugees had been crossing into Sudan. The agency is appealing for more than $165.5 million, that is 118.5 million euros, to assist about 750,000 people in Tigray and some 120,000 Ethiopian refugees in Sudan. The conflict, which began in November last year, has forced over 2 million people to flee their homes, with hundreds of thousands pushed into famine conditions. So away from the refugee story, we move to the rape survivors describing, slavery in mutilations in Tigray. Yes, using rape and all that as a weapon in the Tigray conflict. So Ethiopian and Eritrean troops have raped hundreds of women and girls during the Tigray war, subjecting some to sexually slavery and mutilation. So human rights group Amnesty International has said in a 36-page report. Drawing from interviews with 63 survivors, the report PDF published on Wednesday sheds new light on a scourge already being investigated by Ethiopian law enforcement officials, with at least 3 soldiers convicted and 25 others charged. Some survivors said they have been gang raped, which held captive for weeks on end. Others described being raped in front of their family members. That's quite absurd. But some reported having objects including nails and gravel inserted into their vaginas, causing lasting and possible irreparable damages. Amnesty said this one. It is clear that rape and sexual violence has been used as a weapon of war to inflict lasting physical and psychological damage on women and girls in Tigray, said Amnesty Secretary General Agnes Kalamard. But hundreds have been subjected to brutal treatment aimed at degrading and dehumanizing them as well. The severity and scale of the sexual crime committed are particularly shocking, amounting to war crimes and possible crimes against humanity. Now, I want us to look at the number of people raped. So, northern Ethiopia has been racked by violence since November after Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize winner, sent troops into Tigray to topple its regional ruling party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, the TPLF. He said the move came in response to the TPLF. That is what he's claiming. He said that this move he made came in response to TPLF's attack on federal army camps. As a conflict deepened, the humanitarian tolls packed, with aid workers struggling to reach populations that were now unreachable. Currently, 400,000 people are facing famine-like conditions in Tigray, according to the United Nations. Alleged perpetrators of rape include government soldiers, troops from neighboring Eritrea, which has backed by Abiy, as well as security forces and militia fighters from Ethiopia's Amhara region. Amnesty continues stating this. So more than 12 survivors told Amnesty they were raped by Eritreans only, while others said Eritrean and Ethiopians had worked together. They raped us and starved us. There were too many who raped us in rounds, said one 21-year-old survivor who reported being held for 40 days. We were around 30 women. They took all of us were raped. Acts of sexual violence were widespread and intended to instill fear and humiliation into the victims and their ethnic groups. That is what Amnesty noted. But soldiers and militias frequently use ethnic slurs, insult, threats, and degrading comments, the group said. Several survivors said that their rapist had told them that this is what you deserve and you are disgusting. What they did is actually quite disgusting. Right now, we want to look at the investigations going on in connection with this massacre, rapes and all that. But the AFP news agency has previously interviewed multiple survivors of gang rape perpetrated by Ethiopian and Eritrean soldiers. Amnesty on Wednesday said health facilities in Tigray had registered 1,288 cases of gender-based violence from February to April 2021, although doctors noted that many survivors do not come forward. So it means that there were a lot more than 1,288. Survivors still suffer significant physical and mental health complications. And while many complain of physical trauma such as continual bleeding, back pain, immobility of an fistula, others tested positive for HIV after being raped. The group also stated this one. This is very abysmal. But in February, Ethiopia's women's minister, Filsan Abdullahi Ahmed, said rape had without a doubt taking place in Tigray. A task force she established has since sent a report to the Attorney General's office. On Tuesday, Filsan told AFP it was up to law enforcement officials to determine the scale of the problem and who was responsible as well. I think they are doing their best. They have to go and really study thoroughly before they identify who committed the crimes. But she added by saying that I would prefer them moving at a faster pace so I can say justice has been served, and I hope we will see justice being served. In May, the Attorney General's office said 3 soldiers had been convicted and sentenced for rape, and that an additional 25 personnel had been charged with committing acts of sexual violence and rape. Investigations were continuing. That is what it said. The stories are quite disheartening and heartbreaking. But thank you so much for watching today's edition of editorials. My name is Sandra Asante. Do have a blessed day. I'll see you tomorrow.